Good evening, everyone. Robbie K back with another Robbie Movies reviews on a cold winter night. And tonight, in a very sort of, sparing night, where not much is coming out, we get something that looks promising based on the critic reviews. Oooh-ba-la, starring Gina Rodriguez, is coming in with hopes of maybe adding a little drama, finesse, and crime to the early season. Now, Gina Rodriguez has proven herself as a lovable actress in Jane the Virgin, among other things. But what will this stint into sort of a Hispanic crime movie have in store for her? Could it be quality, like the reviewers say? Or is it just overhyped stuff? Well, Robbie K is here to help you with that. And how do we do it? Simple. We do a Robbie K movie review. Now, for those new to the channel, here's what you get. We're going to talk about the trailer without any spoilers based on how I perceived it. Go into essentially what I like, but what I find as a quick and dirty review that usually lasts around the 3 to 4 minute mark. And then we finish it off for those who want extra details with likes and dislikes to give you a more complete review. Stay as long as you want. Please like, share, subscribe, and help me with it. We'll make this better, including comments for discussion. But until then, let's get started. Oooh-ba-la, for those of you who haven't seen it because of its low cable appearance, is a movie where Gina Rodriguez somehow winds up in the midst of working for a cartel, only to later be stuck between the promises of the DEA. In a world filled with crime, underbelly, and deceit, she is out to try to figure out how in the world to escape this with her head, and perhaps make a few friends and potential allies along the way. Like I've done with this pimple right here. Now, regardless, as we continue on with this bad boy, we have no idea what is in store, but what we do know is this. It's sure to be a drama crime story that should have the usual blendings that we see. But who knows, because these things can always be filled with twists. Let's head in as we review again Oooh-ba-la. Now, when it comes to this movie, turns out I absolutely liked it. Maybe it was going in with a little lower expectations of not knowing what was going on. Perhaps it was the way it was presented. But Oooh-ba-la does a fantastic job of blending the culture of Hispanic telenovelas with girl power, with a fantastic moving story. It's got pieces, it's got heart, it's got character development into it, and some surprises that are sure to kind of help with the various evolution of the thing. While it's certainly not the most detailed in terms of aspects, and originality is only semi there, Oooh-ba-la works because the familiar formula has got a nice twist to it, with a pace, again, that keeps it fun, exciting, entertaining. And again, with a lovely actress to really bring it to life, as well as a great supporting cast and actor, you've got one heck of a sort of marionette crew to bring this show to life. And that's what I absolutely enjoyed. And because it is so formulaic, it's not anything too bizarre or weird to try to blow your mind. Instead, really focusing more on the fact of telling a story that's pretty complete for the most part, though moving fast-paced. It's still got some weaknesses in terms that it maybe doesn't touch up on enough, and perhaps needed a little more finesse in terms of either action or some impasses to block it. But nevertheless, still a fun movie, and definitely worth a trip to the theater if you're looking for kind of that crime suspense. But definitely worth a check out at your home viewing when it comes to Netflix or your favorite streaming service. Now, here's where my scores come in. In terms of probably crime, drama, and maybe thriller, as I'll put it in there, I'm going to give it a 7.5. Movie overall is probably a 6.5, maybe a 7 at the highest. But thoroughly did enjoy this movie. And if this is where I leave you, please like, subscribe, and share. Help me make this better, please. But if you're willing to stick around, let's go into a few more details that might help us bring to life what this film has in store for it. As always, I like to start on the positive foot, which I did horribly with that camera angle. But here's where we got with it. When it comes to the likes, you've already heard. Gina Rodriguez is kind of the central pillar station. Totally a different character from Jane the Virgin. This particular one of Oooh-ba-la is ready to come in so many different forms. a girl who starts on one spectrum and starts to broaden and bleed into other characteristic qualities makes for good character development, which is a second leg in terms of expanding on what could have been just a simple role and taking what seemed to be going in a one direction, really bringing it out and maximizing it without overkilling each aspect. It works. It's a smart character. It's a realistic character. And for the most part, it's a very smart one to kind of design around. So bravo for the director, crew, and writers for first designing a character like this, and Rodriguez for maximizing the talent. Including her supporting cast that we got in here, everyone sort of played the role that they needed to do. Primarily a couple of the crime lords that were in there to some of the other secondary characters involved. It works very well, and especially the chemistry between the two. Again, another top-notch display of how you can do the right casting and give creative liberties to blend into what I thought was a good dynamic, especially given how the story was written. And again, that brings me to my next like, the story. Again, not the most original by far, with some predictable moments, but enough oh crap moments that they took and actually did to really kind of keep the movie interesting, engaging, and not as linear as these movies sometimes tend to be. It works fantastically in it, and given all those impasses and a pace that moves, which again for some of these doesn't necessarily happen, it didn't take too long to get where it needed to get to. And when that happens, you again just get this nice pace trying to figure out what next leg of the journey is going to happen. In addition, I'm going to have to give them props for at least one action scene that had a lot of character fervor and some excitement going into it. Now, certainly not the most exciting or mind-blowing special effects, but it's a scene that works very well into the story and has that intensity that you were looking for. So, kudos to them for being able to do that as well. In regards to tell the story in less than 2 hours as a mad nod to their props, and to be able to cover it into a semi-complete aspect and touching on all these qualities, again, bravo on that level. Miss Bala certainly has a lot of beautiful costumes, makeup, and design I want to shout out to, but if you're not really interested in that, I understand. And for those who have seen a number of Hispanic movies in the American cinema, you know that these movies have one heck of a soundtrack. And again, you are pleased to hear numerous genres with that same Latin American energy and fire that makes dancing to their music so much fun. So, that works very well with it too. And again, it's got some emotional feel and justice to it. So booyah to them for doing that, because I have a feeling it's going to really kind of hit the intended target audiences. And even if you're not the intended target, you're going to have some fun with it. But hey, that's where the likes go in. So let's get to the dislikes. Well, the first thing is, it is still predictable for the most part. And while there were a couple of, oh man, moments that happened, there are also some parts that you're seeing coming a mile away. Foreshadowing is off the hook. You can obviously see many of the ways that this is going. You're just waiting to find out when. So, that's one component of it. The second thing is that even though they did a decent job utilizing their character, the problem with it is that they didn't, I think, capitalize on them. This is true for a few of the antagonists that seem to have bigger build-up, and when there was potential teasers of them coming back, it didn't happen. Now, this could, of course, lead to a potential opening for a sequel if they decide to do it, because I could easily see this, the series that it's based on, influencing a sequel, a chain of movies, and that could easily be where we see this. But if not, then the build-up of rather lame right-wing antagonists didn't quite do it for me. The second thing is that while Miss Bala herself and kind of one of the other characters gets decent use and build-up, I can't say that some of the other characters that they were focusing on got the same kind of attention. Another one of those syndromes where they tease and try to put a lot into it, but at the same time, it's like a big hint and tease, but nothing, and I repeat, nothing like I was hoping for. And this is true for a couple of them. One of the actors featured in the trailers, who I wish not to say because I don't want to give anything away, not utilized very much, and as a result, I kind of wish a little more introduction and integration into that part. And I can definitely say I was looking for a little more suspense and impasse to the journey than what I got. But hey, still not bad, but probably could have used a little beefing up. Anyway, I'm getting to about the 10-minute mark, and outside of that, it was just a little too fast-paced at times and skimming over story details that I think I wanted a little more of. Again, this is one of those that, based on a series where you're taking television episodes and putting them into a movie, this is almost always the case. And while I appreciated all the components there, it was almost like a few of these stories could have been left out for a potential sequel in order to capitalize on some of the more interesting, engaging things I found. Which, again, I won't say, because in doing so, it would be a spoiler. So let's wrap this up. Miss Bala is fun. Miss Bala has pizzazz, character, and it's got edge, and it works for me. And the truth is I should probably give it about an 8 at the highest, if I'm being honest, in its genre. But there are some things that are still in need, and by taking a television series and still trying to compact episodes into one concise story, you kind of get this feeling of being rushed over. But you know what? It's not bad. It's fun, and with the acting and kind of balance to it, I definitely say, again, worth a theater visit, but definitely watching it at the couch. So until then, my friends, this is Robbie K, kind of checking out early this week because there's only really one coming here. But we will be back with at least 3 next week, so get ready for more Robbie's movie reviews. Again, like, share, and comment. Help me make this better. And until then, have a good night and stay cool at the movies. Peace, guys.